Welcome back. You're watching Signature Morning on Signature Television. We're headed over to Abuja right now, where Godwin Sunday is standing by for some reports from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Good to have you. Good morning, Godwin. Godwin, can you hear me? Hello, Godwin.
Good morning, Charles. How's Enugu this morning?
Enugu is good. Enugu is good. Looks a little bit cloudy, but I'm sure that maybe before the day runs out, we might have some rains. But I don't know. How's the weather in Abuja?
Abuja weather is a bit cloudy this morning. At least our weather is around 24 degrees Celsius, so the cloud droplets of rains are hopeful, and any minute from now, we don't know yet.
Okay, I'm just wondering. We heard about the 1 million man march that was supposed to be on the 10th of August. That's over the weekend. I don't know. Did that in any way work at all? Is it the 1 million man march or the 10 million man march? I think it's a 1 million man march. Did it happen? Did people come out on the 10th, of the last day of the protest? And what do you think um, the protester may have gained in Abuja as regards their, you know, the things that they actually asked the government to do for them?
Right. Charles, basically, we thought that the 1 million march uh, put the eyes into the cake when it has to do with protests in Abuja, but then we didn't see it happen. Rather, early hours of Saturday, we saw police officers trying to ask protesters to leave the MK Abiola Stadium, which has been the one of the focal point, the convergence point for the protests so far for last week. But we didn't really have more of a 1 million march protest in Abuja. I don't think that we did because I was around Abuja trying to see as even as at till 4 p.m. I was trying to see somewhere around the federal capital territory we can still have a protest. But when I was leaving, I was towards in the evening hours of the day. There was really no protest. So I don't want to say the security operatives because we had a very strong security operatives at the National Secretariat. For the first time in history, I saw more than 500 security personnel just trying to move from Secretariat down to Maitama. It was a very strong presence at that access. So the protest didn't hold the 1 million man work didn't hold in Abuja.
Okay, so what about the other issue regarding the NLC? The NLC this morning is saying that the
All
federal
right.
government should apologize for the invasion.
Yeah, Charles. So when you raise that concern, when you raise that issue, I just started laughing because first and foremost, we were at the NLC premise last week, as promised, that we're going to look into and we're going to speak to some persons around there. We got there and we were told that there was actually security operatives that came to raid the space, but it wasn't. It was later in the day we now got to know that it was not the DSS that came to raid the place. It was the police officers that came to raid the place. But then the security personnel that we met on ground, that the guards, the operatives there that we met, said the vehicles came, they were fortified with weapons, and they came in at about 10 p.m. in the night. And there was no light in the premise, and the CCTV cameras were not working because we had to ask all of these questions so that we can be on the stage with the kind of information that we're giving. Now, when police is coming to say at this point that when NLC is saying police should apologize for invading the premise. And we are asking at this point, we were there to observe that building. We went to the room to observe it. Documents were carted away. There were literally no document, and the entire space was in disarray. It was scattered. Because we're asking at this point, on whose mandate, on whose injunction did the Nigerian police took that order? Who gave that warrant for the Nigerian police to invade the NLC headquarters, which is popularly known as the Labour House? On whose authority, whose mandate was that instruction given? Now, before we call for apologies, before Nigerian Labour Congress begin to call for apologies, we need to ask salient questions so that we won't go ahead and say, okay, when there is when rights have been trampled upon, we now begin to call for apologies. We ask salient questions: who gave these orders? How were these things carried out? Was there actual fact to the fact that documents were at the NLC secretariat that contradict the law? What's the brain behind the invasion? So that when police officers invade any other space, we can now corroborate the information and say, okay, this happened because this A, Y, and Z. So I don't, not just coming out to say, NLC coming out to say, come and apologize for invading our space. We need to get detailed information from the PPRO of the police to come tell us something, what led to the invasion. And for then, Nigerians can also know that, okay, we can have a full-fledged information, at least for, let the DSS, they've been able to exonerate themselves, but then again, the police should come out and tell us what we need to know.
Okay, Godwin, good morning once again.
Good morning.
Are there like
Shomalina.
agitations or unrest ongoing still in Abuja? You know, a couple of days ago, we heard that someone who was championing the protest, also came out to say one or two things. Are there still agitations? Are people appearing agitated about the government rule and their response towards their demands?
All right, Chomalina. So basically, we say Abuja goes to work on Monday, and today is Monday. Abuja has resumed work. The roads are busy. As we speak right now, the roads all over Abuja, in every division in Abuja, every axis you want to think of in Abuja, there's heavy traffic in Abuja. So Abuja has returned back to normalcy. I don't know if there is going to be a protest, if it's going to work. But as we speak, as of this morning, normalcy has since returned back to the Federal Capital Territory. Everybody has been going about their normal daily activities. And so if any party is coming to say that they are not satisfied with the output of the protest, I think they've left their mark already by stating that the protest was going to be for 10 days, and the protest lasted for 10 days. They've made their point known, so they should look for other modalities. But normalcy has since returned back to the Federal Capital Territory, even this morning.
Okay, does it seem that any of the things that were tabled as a request of the people has been met?
Now, funny enough, Chomalina, we've not seen those demands being treated so far. We've not seen all of those demands being trying to be curtailed or trying to be addressed. Rather, we've seen the only address we've gotten so far is that of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that have come out to speak to the Nigerian youth to shield their sword. That was last weekend President's speech. But so far, so good. We've not heard anything, and no other thing have been said. Now, speaking of their demands, I don't think that the demands have been met. I don't think that the demand, but this is still hypothetical, because what we have on their list, what most people from what we've gotten so far on the field, when the people reply, they tell you that, okay, we stated 15 demands, we stated 10 demands to the president. We should have a tick time to say, okay, demand A has been met, tick. Demand B has been met, tick. So also till they get to the 10th demand. But so far, when we look at when we need to highlight their demands, we can't authoritatively say that those demands have been met. But we are hoping that the president has other ways that he wants to address the demands of the Nigerian youth, especially today being International Youth Day. And a lot of meetings are going on in the Federal Capital Territory today. And we hope that with these meetings and other meetings that will follow, the Nigerian youth demand will be addressed. And some of their demands also highlighted that led to the protest also will be mitigated and which will be addressed in the coming days.
Okay, thank you so much, Godwin, for that, keeping us in touch with what's happening and the happenings in Abuja. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Shmari.
Oh, okay. That was Godwin Sunday from is our correspondent in Abuja, bringing us Dateline from Abuja. So stay with us while we'll bring you more from the stable of Signature Morning. It's still Signature Morning on Signature TV. Go nowhere.